কিন্তু তবুও আমি আসি। কেউ নেই। বাবা
Hello? Hello? Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, that's really delayed.
But the video isn't.
Videos because it's directly plugged into my thing, right? That's
That really speaks into it.
This is gonna be a live one or?
it's live, it's already on. So. আমি এত পাগল হয়ে যাচ্ছি। কেমন আছেন বাকি? কেমন চলছে কাজটা?
সব ভালো চলছে। তুমি তো একদম শেভ করার সময় পাওনি।
না, সময়ের কথা নেই, অ্যাকচুয়ালি হচ্ছে যে গুরুজি বলছিলেন তুমি করে দেখো, আমি করে দেখছি জিনিসটা। সো
তোমার কথা আমরা সবাই বাড়িতে বলছিলাম, তুমি কত কিছু করলে।
আরে ওই গানটা কিন্তু আমি নিশ্চয়ই শিখবো আপনার কাছে, নিশ্চয়ই শিখবো আমি। হ্যাঁ, absolutely. Gorgeous song they say, she sang, no? পরদেশী মেঘ জগরে ফিরে। না 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 না, একদম পরদেশী। সত্যি কথা, আমি আমি মার মতো গাইতে পারবো না, গাইতে পারবো না। পরদেশী মেঘ জগরে ফিরে বলিও আমার পরদেশী রে, পরদেশী মেঘ। সেটা তো okay. Is anyone else coming today? Everyone's just late. Hopefully everyone's clocks have changed.
My parents left on Sunday and that day the clock changed.
Yeah.
So what we did, we did it last night, the night before.
Yeah.
It turned 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 3.
কিন্তু ভালো লাগছে এখন, the fact that it's still sunny outside, it makes a huge difference.
Instead of 1, it turned to 3.
ঠান্ডা তো ঠিকই আছে।
Instead of 3, instead of 3, it turned to 4.
Is it?
Yeah, because if you wake up before like 7:30, it's like pitch dark.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I could not wake up.
Yeah, it happens.
I had to wait till 7. I needed to wake up at 6:30, but I could only get out of bed for the second. So where do we have to
Drupad Samharoh. So instead of Virasat this year, we're doing Drupad Samharoh. So it'll be 6 Drupad performances by 6 different artists. And one of those artists is our choir.
When?
The opening. That's gonna happen Navratri.
Month of November?
Yeah.
No, October.
October. So throughout the year, we will.
Between now and then, we will perfect Adanad with harmonies and stuff.
I thought it done.
Only our nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
We'll do Adanad, we'll do a proper alap in it. It'll, yeah.
I forgot the version. I didn't realize it. Yeah. Other than
It's okay, it's okay. We're not gonna work on the composition today anyways. We're gonna do some other things.
okay.
If anyone else ever shows up.
So we're finally done with the Adanada. And
Not necessarily.
Still we will do the same song.
we performed it already.
আবার করতে হবে কিন্তু sa ga pa ga sa Romeo 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 you learn all these things now. Romeo Romeo huh? I mean, as exercises and stuff to develop a choral sound, yeah. Romeo Romeo do da do da do da do da do do da do da do da do da do do da 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 da. Huh? Oh, I know. I know Siley's coming at 7. Prithvi's not coming. Siley's not going to be here till 7. Ambrish won't be here till 7. But then Hariniyaka won't be able to come today. But that still leaves your mom's not here. Ritesh and Shuporno and Arna Sahib.
That's okay.
Okay, it's okay. You want to just come in? We'll start with at least the 3 of us. Rizma Jare, kokhone kobi?
তখন ছুপু আসবে
ও তো আসবে না বলছে তো এই সেমেস্টারে ও শুনতে পাচ্ছে তোমার কথা বলো ডাকো ওকে
ছুপু
কেন আসো না
আসছে না যখন আসবে রিতমা সাথে করবে
না ও তো আসেই নি কি করে করবে
আগে আসবে তারপরে রিতমা
শুনতে পাচ্ছো শুভু খেপিয়ে গেছে তোমারে ওকে So first things first, I think what we'll start looking at is just a bit of backstory. So what's going to happen now is we're going to start working. Guruji's had this vision of doing. He's had this vision of doing a Drupad as a choir piece, as a Western chorus. So when more people come in, I'll just play a snippet of what a choir sounds like, in case you've never heard one before. But in the meantime, we're gonna.
I've heard it before, but it sounds so pretty. I want to hear it again.
Yes, so I'll play it for you again. Okay, so the way it's gonna work is there are certain techniques which we have to develop in order to sing like a choir. one of the big things that we're going to be introducing
Pool of people.
is harmonies. We're going to start introducing this thing called a harmony. You're familiar with what a harmony is. So what that means is we have to train our voices and our ears in a very specific way to make sure that those harmonies come out properly. We had started doing some work on that rehearsal day, and it was sounding really nice, I thought.
Yeah.
So we're going to develop more techniques as to how to develop a better ear to gain better ability to do that a lot better.
For our next performance.
Exactly. Okay. So what's happening is I'm in the process of actually writing it out on staff notation, AATB, so alto, alto, tenor, and bass, because we don't have sopranos. So I'm writing it out like that, and everyone will be given their part, and you have to memorize it. What that means is the song will not be sung exactly the same way by everyone. Depending on what the harmonies demand, the melody will change.
Yeah.
But luckily, I'll hand you your part and say, this is how you will sing it. And you have to memorize it that way, or learn it that way, even if not memorized. Just depending on how the harmonies work out. Okay. So first things first is, we have to learn how to sing a harmony, and we have to learn about this thing called an interval. Okay, so let's start with that. Do you know what an interval is, Rishi?
I think I can guess what it is. I think it's like a thing where you like
Give a pause.
like give a pause, like give a pause, like stop and think for a moment.
Okay, I can see why you think that way, but in the particular context, that's not quite the definition. So an interval basically is any space between any two given notes is an interval. Between any two given notes, the space that is there is called an interval.
Okay.
And that interval is always a number. It'll be a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, or a seventh. We will never have to go anywhere above a seventh. But in the Western world, you can go up to 15th, right? Like, we won't have to deal with that. All we have to know is up to 7, the interval up to 7. So let's just talk about that for a second. Let's sing Sa as a group. Wait, jump the octave, sorry. Sorry. Let me see this one. Good. Now, if we lay this out on a keyboard, envision a keyboard in your head. From Sa to Shuddha Re. Sing Re, Shuddha Re. Right? What number distance is between those two? If you were to lay it on a keyboard, what is it? Bolo?
Like D.
Okay, so if you're gonna, not in terms of note name, 2, right? 2. Now, there are 2 types of intervals. There's a that we need to know. I'll tell you how he told that. There are 2 types of intervals which we need to know about: major and minor. Major, manjish, meaning shuddh.
Like happy.
Minor, meaning koma.
Sad.
Correct. If you're going to portray an emotion to it, then happy and sad. Right? So there's a major interval and there's a minor interval. So Rishi, Sa to Re is what kind of interval? Major or minor?
Minor.
Is it minor? What kind of Re are we singing?
Shuddha.
Shuddha Re. So then will that be a minor or a major? Shuddha Re, from Sa to Shuddha Re?
Major.
Major. That's a major second interval. Anytime we're singing a Shuddha note against Sa, it's a major. Okay? So, let's just follow that logic. Sa to Shuddha Re is a
Major.
major what? Major second. Right? The distance is a second, is 2 notes.
Major 2. Yes.
Major second.
Yeah.
Second.
Major
Yes,
second.
major and minor. So, Sa to Shuddha Re is a
Major second.
major second. Now, Gitanjali, Sa to Shuddha Ga is a
Major second. Major
Gitanjali to boli now? What is it? Major third. Okay, এখন ঋষি তুমি বলো Sa to Shuddha Ma is a
Major fourth.
Gitanjali, Sa to Sa, sorry, Poromadi, Sa to Pa will be a major fifth. Sa to dha is a
Major 6.
Sa to ni is a major 7. That's all we have to know. Up to the number 7. Now, Pormadi, what will Sa to Komal Ga be? If Sa to Shuddha Ga is a major third,
Minor.
correct, minor third. So Sa to Shuddha Ga will be a minor third.
Major.
Sorry, Shuddha Ga will be major third and Komal Ga will be a minor third. Acha, Rishideep, Sa to Komal Dha will be?
So to Komal Da. Minor 7.
Is it a minor 7?
Yep.
Abar bhebe dekho.
Minor 6.
Minor 6 keno?
Because Ni comes after 6. After the
Ni comes after Dha. Ni is 7, right? Or you can say Dha is a Shuddha Dha is a major 6. So Komal Dha will be a minor 6. Are we clear? Now, depending on where we start our base from, depending on which note we're measuring intervals from, the minor major relationship will change.
Yeah.
So just because from Sa it is a minor major, that doesn't mean that that same sticks if we start from Re. Or does it? Let's find out. Gitanjali? Re to Shuddha Ma is what kind of interval? Minor second? Minor third. Shuddha Re to Shuddha Ma is a
minor 4th.
is not a minor fourth. Ma Shuddha Komala ashbe na. Shita Tivra ashbe, Tivra ashbe.
Shuddha Re to Shuddha Ma is minor.
So Shuddha Re to Shuddha Ma, she said it correctly, is a what?
Major 3rd.
Not a major third, it's a minor third.
Minor 3rd.
Because think of it this way. Re to Ga is a
Re to Shuddha Ga is a major 2nd.
correct. Now, if you go from Re and say major third, what note will you hit?
Ma.
Which Ma? Tivra or Shuddha?
Shuddha.
You'll hit Tivra. Oh, here's where I'm making my mistake. There's one more thing I need to explain first.
Shuddha.
So let me rewind.
Shuddha.
Bear with me while I do this. This is the first time I've had to teach this in a non-Western context. In the Western world, there's this concept called a whole step and a half step. Okay? A whole step means the gap of 2 keys. Let's say you look at a piano. When you skip one key and go to the next, that's a whole step. When you go from one key to the direct next one, that's a half step. Okay? A whole step and a half step. Now, anytime something is major, it implies a whole step. Anytime anything is minor, it implies a half step.
Yeah. So we'll say whole step and half.
Whole step and half step. So, Sa to Shuddha Re is a major second, which is a what? It's a whole step from Sa to Re. Right? Sa to Komal Re is a half step, and it's a minor second.
Yeah.
With me so far? And Drupal guys, those of you who are joining in on the live stream, if you have a question, just go ahead and write it out in the Drupal WhatsApp group. In the Drupal Choir WhatsApp group, I'll be able to see your questions there. So if you have a question as I'm going, just go ahead and message me there. Yeah.
So
Okay. So whole steps and half steps, right? A whole step means 2 piano notes away from the next.
yeah.
Okay?
So yeah.
Okay, bujhe cho?
Mhm.
Okay. With that logic, let's go along. Re to Ga is a whole Shuddha Re to Shuddha Ga is a whole step or a half step? A whole step.
Yeah.
Now, Ga to Shuddha Ma is a whole step or a half step?
Whole.
Is it whole? Put it out on a keyboard. Rishi, tumi jano? Is Shuddha Ga to Shuddha Ma is a whole step or a half step?
Whole step.
Is it a whole step?
Yeah.
If you were to play a major scale on the piano and you were to play Ga to Ma, would you skip
Half
it?
step.
It's a half step. Ga to Ma is a half step. So think
But
about it,
we didn't
Poromadi.
skip it.
Lay it out onto a harmonium. If you were to play Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa, however you know it, Envision the notes between ga and ma. Do you skip a note or is it the note right next to ga?
It's a note right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a note right next to it, right?
Yeah.
So that means that it's a half step.
Okay.
So then, re to ga is a whole step, ga to ma is a half step. So what is the distance from re to shuddha ma? 1.5, meaning a what kind of third?
Minor.
Minor third.
Minor third. So
Following the logic?
That means it's a half step.
It's a not a half step. It's a half step from ga to ma, but it's 1.5 steps from re to ma, which means it's a minor third. Because a minor third is always.
No.
What's the interval relationship in a minor third?
Whole step.
Sorry, a major third. Major third. So sa to ga is a major third, which means it's a
Whole step.
how many whole steps and how many half steps? From sa to ga is how many whole steps?
Whole step.
Two what steps?
It's
2 whole steps.
Okay.
2 half steps would end me up at Shuddhare.
2 whole steps.
But from ma to pa is like a half step, right?
Which mantupa are you referring to?
I is only one.
Only one pa.
Shuddhma to pa.
Is a
Whole step.
whole step.
Yeah.
Tivra matupa is a half
whole
step.
Shuddha matupa is a whole step.
Correct. Correct. With the logic so far? Okay. You'll catch up. Now, Shuddha, so from Re to Shuddhama, we've come to know is a
Half step.
is a what kind of interval?
Half step.
Is what kind of interval? Re to Shuddhama is a
Major third.
is it major?
Minor third.
Minor third.
Minor third.
Re to Shuddhama is a minor third. Are you having a hard time visualizing it?
Yeah. I
Okay, let's remedy that.
Me too.
Sorry for that. I don't know.
No need to be sorry. Let's just remedy this.
So Re to ma is a half step.
Re to ma is not a half step.
Minor
It should be
is considered like a half step.
It's a whole step.
And major is a whole step.
Whole
So
step.
if you look on the piano, so sa, re, ga. I think you could explain it, but like it depends on if it's kumu re or shuddha re. He'll probably explain it.
Yeah,
And
let me give some visuals. This will
Oh,
this will-
it's a whole step.
How? Explain me how.
Re to ma.
Re to ma? How many?
Because they're skipping, they're not right next to each other. They're skipping the ga.
so
They're skipping the ga, so it's a whole step.
so ga to ma is a half step. But whole step. So it's 1.5. So it's minor.
Minor.
So it's Re to ma is a whole step.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
So I know Re to ma is a whole step. It's a whole step. Re to ma is a whole step, right? Re to ma is a whole step. Re to ma is a whole step.
Is Re to ma whole step? Can someone correct Rishidi?
No, it's a half step.
It's a half step. Yeah.
No, Re to ma is not a whole or a half.
It's
step.
1.5. Sorry.
It's 1.5 steps.
So it's one and a half step. One and a half. One and a half step. One and a half.
Okay, this will help clear up some confusion. Ready?
Okay.
I think it's clearing up confusion machine. Hey, what's it?
Oh yeah. Ga and ma. Shuddhma.
Okay.
and ga.
All right. So let's take a look at this for a second now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say our sa is sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa. Okay? Let's just take C major scale for example.
Okay.
And this is only a visual cue. If I was to go Puramadi from sa to Shuddha re, what note would I end up on?
Sa re D.
On D, right?
Yeah.
Now, am I
explain this
doing
one.
the note? Am I playing the key directly next to D, or am I skipping one?
Skipping one.
Right? And skipping
the
one because
C sharp.
one, I'm skipping C sharp and I'm going to D.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, this is what you call a whole step,
Okay.
whereas this is what you call a
Half a step.
half step.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, for your own reference, a major scale compromises of the following interval pattern: whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half.
Whole, half,
Sature whole, retuga whole,
Whole.
gatuma half,
Half.
matupa whole, patudha whole, dhatuni whole, nitusa half.
It's all you can tell by looking at the piano too.
Exactly. That you can see by looking at the piano itself,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we were then discussing what is Shuddha Re to Shuddha Ma. So, from here to here,
it's a 1/2 step.
is it 1/2 step, Rishi?
Yeah.
Shuddha Re to Shuddha Ma is 1/2 step?
Half one step.
One.
1.5 step.
1.5
One
step.
and a half.
Correct.
Yeah.
1.5
How about
step.
Re to Tivra Ma?
Okay, so it's
What kind of intervallic relationship are we looking at there?
so Re to Diploma is like
Half.
one and a
Two.
one and a full step.
Three.
Re to Tivra Ma is a
Two.
2 whole steps.
Two whole steps.
That's correct.
So it's 2 whole steps. 2 whole steps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sure that makes sense, right? Okay, so from Shuddhare to Tivrama,
It's
Amrish, which one is Tivrama? F sharp. So from D to F sharp, it's a 2 whole steps. 1, 2, right? So what kind of intervallic relationship is that? We would call that interval a major second. That's correct.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Major.
Major.
So major second
Mm-hmm.
from re to pa. So like this, we'll keep. It's important to know what these intervallic relationships are like. So let's go over one more time. Sa to re is a Shuddhare. Sa to Shuddhare,
Whole step.
intervallic relationship. Sa to Shuddhare,
it's whole step.
major second.
Major step.
Sa to Shuddhaga,
Major third.
to Shuddhama,
Major fourth.
Shuddhapa,
Major fifth.
Shuddhadha,
Major sixth.
and Ni.
Major seventh.
Correct. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
With me so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
We're done with it.
the next thing to understand is every relationship sounds a particular way.
Ooh.
The next step to understand when you're singing choral music is memorizing how those
Every-
intervals sound.
Every relationship sounds
What?
different.
Right. Every intervallic relationship sounds and feels different. So this in turn will directly help you in your personal classes. Is basically the ability to go, okay, someone played re, you need to sing pa. There, out it comes. Because you exactly know what that major second interval feels like. Or sa baj raha hai, and then on top of that we're being told to sing Shuddhadha. Immediately we know what a major sixth sounds like. Okay, so now we're gonna start working towards that ability. I'm gonna leave this up. I'm gonna turn the light back on. Still visible, right?
There's the microphone.
Cool. I love this thing. Awesome. Okay. All right. So, harmonium players, piano players in the room, and people who have experience with intervals. Sing. This is your sa. Can you sing me a major second? Sing it just a major second. Re, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, what's going to happen in choral singing? In choral singing, when you are working with harmonies, different people are singing different notes, and they all lock together because the intervals lock together.
Yeah.
The most obvious interval which all of us have been exposed to is the interval of a major fifth. Can someone tell me where that interval appears for us Hindustani musicians?
Satupa.
Satupa. And where do we hear Satupa? In the Tanpura. We always hear it in our Tanpura, right? Cool. Now, everyone sing Sa. Vati Saga. Okay? Now everyone sing Pa. Aste Aste, aste. Okay. That interval of sa to pa should sound exactly the same way when someone else is singing sa. Okay?
Yeah.
So, in this next round, some of you are going to sing sa, some of you are going to sing pa. Okay? Hear
What
pa
are
in
we
your
gonna
head.
sing?
This is why interval training is important. If you know what a major fifth sounds like, you'll hear it immediately in your head, which will mean it'll come out immediately when you sing it. Okay? So sa to pa, I would like Ambarish and Poromadi to sing pa. I would like the remaining to sing sa. ঠিক আছে বুঝেছো? Okay, তুমি সা গাও, ঠিক আছে? Ready? Can the sa sing sa, please? Okay, keep it going. Pa. Yeah, so see how naturally our voices, they like to shake. So that means that that comes down to technique of singing. Breath capacity, releasing it at the same time. And if you take a break and come back, you have to come back exactly where you were. Otherwise, the interval doesn't lock. You heard that, right? How the interval doesn't lock sometimes?
Yeah.
Let's give that one more go. Chalo. Sa and pa. Good. Let's invert it. Those of you who are singing pa, now sing sa. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. Very good. Perfect. Does that make sense? Now, here's what we're gonna do. Sa gaane wale, those of you who are singing sa, hear the tanpura. Lock that sa in your head. So that when I'm gonna turn this off and then have you sing sa. The two of you should be matched. And then pa, sorry? If you were singing pa earlier, you're now singing sa. And if you were singing sa, you're now singing pa. So these two are pa singers now. The sa singers now, and the rest are pa singers.
Which two are sa singers?
Tumi pa gacho, ঠিক আছে? Poromadi will sing sa. Poromadi will sing sa, and Ambarish Dada will sing sa. ঠিক আছে?
I'll sing pa.
You're sing pa. Okay? I'm going to. So who are my sas? Raise your hand. Who are my sas? You two, right? So hear this. I'm going to turn this off. Make sure that this pitch is locked into your head, and then you guys sing pa on top of that. Okay? Ready? Got it? There we go. See how that works? Lucky for us, the tanpura will be playing all the time. So we won't face this situation. But in order to understand how voices lock, you have to do it without the tanpura. So see, let's do it again. I'll count it off and we'll sing it for 8 beats. Okay? Here's a reference again. Okay? So I'll count you off. We'll sing it for 8 beats. And listen to what's happening around you and blend into it, okay? 1, 2. 1, 2, ready, and. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. Sorry, 12. 12. We'll go for 12. Now, see? This time, we were a little bit low on the sa. So then that throws that interval off. Does that make sense? Let's try it again. Ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and.
Go to 13.
You will cut off on the 13th one. Okay? Now, make sense? Let's try a different interval. What does a major third sound like? Can someone tell me if this is sa? Exactly. Now that we made that connection, it's easy to tell, right? So, oh, your mom's doing it. Ready? Okay. Now let's try ga. Those of you who are singing pa, now sing ga. That means Who's singing ga?
Ooh.
Rishi singing ga.
Where's mine?
There's your hand. There's your hand. Rishi singing ga, Gitanjali singing ga, and Saili is singing ga. Okay?
Easy.
Ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. Ready? And. Sas first. Can I hear my sas? Itu kami I guess. Ga? Gaga? So see how the pitch is slightly dropping so that that's when it. So what does that mean? Breath control. You should let your breath out evenly. If you feel there's a hiccup coming, let that stop yourself, recatch your breath, and let it out as evenly as you possibly can. Okay? Chalo, let's try that again. 1, 2, 1,
I'm singing
2. Yes, ready? And. Oh, okay. Cool. Satuga, Satupa. Now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're gonna count off from ga. Oh, actually, this is count off. You're number 1, okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
ठीक है sir? You are going to sing ga.
Okay.
You will
Me?
sing pa.
Okay.
You will sing sa. Low sa.
Me?
You
I'm
sing
going
ga.
to sing ga.
You sing pa. I'll sing sa.
I'm
Okay.
going to sing ga.
You're gonna sing ga.
Okay.
Okay, can you sing your ga for me?
Yeah.
Ga.
Ga.
Asking. Pa. See how that works?
Yeah.
What we just sang is called a major triad,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because what is the difference from sa to ga?
Major third.
What's the difference from shuddha ga to pa?
Third.
What kind of third? From ga to pa,
Major.
is it major?
Minor.
It's a minor third.
Minor third.
So
We have to understand
major third,
this.
minor third. That's what makes a major triad.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. Our sense of interval has to be such that when we sing as a group, we're able to hold our tune because we're listening and locking into each other as we're moving simultaneously. So basically, for example, Gitanjali, you're going to sing. Oh, whoops. What just happened?
Okay.
You're gonna sing the scale as is. Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa. I'm gonna sing it from ga. So you're gonna hear me sing ga ma pa da ni sa re ga, and she's gonna sing the normal sa to sa. Ready?
Wait, what am I going to sing?
To me shuno. Okay. 1, 2, ready, and. Ga ma pa da ni sa re ga.
Ooh.
1, 2, go down. Ready, and. Ga ne sa ni da pa ma ga.
Ooh.
See how that sounds?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're
I guess it's just not common.
it's not common in India. So for
Yeah,
many
sounds
Indians who hear choral music for the first time, like her, for example, it freaks them out. Like we went to see the a cappella group, Mahimas, the Yale Glee Club, the Yale Glee Club. And if you've never heard harmony before, it'll really mess with your head. So তুমি বসো একটু। Make sense?
Yeah.
So this is the ability which we have to get to as a group. That if someone else is singing something that's going against what you're singing, that doesn't phase you. You know where you are and you know how to lock into that person. That's the point where we have to get for this piece to pull off effectively. Okay? Luckily, we'll all have Tanpura access. And likely that day, one thing we might try is everyone has to wear an earbud, which is hidden somehow. That is going there and then under your kurta or something like that. So that then you have a reference to the sa in your ear. Since we're not proper choral singers, we'll find something to have fun with. Okay? So let's do the exercise that we just did. Okay? Tumi tu mar pashe bosho? ঠিক আছে বসো। Now, first let's hear everyone sing sa to sa and then everyone sing from ga to ga. Ready? Sa to sa first. Ready? Sa to sa. 1, 2, ready, and.
Sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Okay, ga to ga. 1, 2, ready, and.
Ga ma pa da ni sa re ga ga re sa ni da pa ma ga.
Good. And always hold the last note and make sure you're in tune. Okay? Now, let's split it. This half, sing sa. This half, sing ga. Okay?
I'm going to sing what?
Sa.
I'm going to sing what?
This half, sing sa.
I don't-
And this half.
Ami sa.
Ha, tumi sa.
Which half sings sa?
You sing sa. You sing sa. ठीक है?
What is going on?
You'll see. Ready? Make sense?
I'm going to sing sa.
Oh, that way. Then you two sing sa, the two of us will sing ga. Oh, you want to try it? Yeah, okay. There's gonna be that happening anyways. So you're gonna go sa re ga ma. Oh, sa re ga. Try it. Ready? 1, 2. Hear your notes. 1,
What
2. Ready? And.
Sa re ga ma pa sa ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa.
Now, let's take a second and go through each one. Ormadi, sing sa.
Okay, me.
Tumi bosho ektu. Singa. Actually, hold on. Let's hear this voice combo for a second. Sa, ga. Ga. So listen to this note and lock in with her. Now, the same, both of you shift up one note. Hear this interval. Okay? You see how that feels? You do feel like there's a sense of discomfort or something that will happen, but then you'll hear this point at which that interval locks.
I don't feel discomfort.
That's what you need to listen towards. Okay, so re to ma, now ga to pa. Locked? Ma to the aste, ekটু aste. Okay, pa to ni. Next set, dha to sa. So each of these intervals should be felt to lock in. Okay, let's try it as a group again. All right, What were the assignments before?
I was singing from sa to sa.
Sa to sa and ga to ga.
And I was singing from sa to sa.
Yes, you are from sa to sa. So sa to sa, ga to ga. I'll sing in the ga to ga.
Me sa to sa.
Yes. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, ready, and.
Ooh, these sound pretty.
It's very pretty. Let's try it again. Ready? Let's go a little bit slower. Listen to your surroundings,
Am I going
okay?
to sing sa?
Yes. 1, 2, ready, and. Ga ma pa da ni sa re ga ga re sa ni da pa ma ga.
Ooh, it's open.
Right?
Wow.
Now, let's do one more thing.
So,
Instead of singing the notes, sing everything in akar. Okay? And let's all find one common akar. The rule of thumb for akar in this group is going to be your jaw dropped. Can I hear everyone's? Breathe before. Good. Rishi? Okay. Ready? Let's sing the same thing again, only all in akar. Find your note, hear it in akar. So sa to sa in akar. ठीक है से?
sa to sa.
In akar. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, ready. Very nice. Okay? Now,
It sounds good.
what's that? There was this. Yeah, it sounded beautiful. Round and round the boat, monkey chase, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. This is the next thing we have to develop: the ability to sing intervals against one another. Also the ability to sing contrasting melodies or the same melody split. Okay, everyone's familiar with row to row your boat? You don't know? You guys don't know it? Okay, just take a listen to this here. Ready?
Should I sing with you? Or the round?
First, let's sing it together and then the round. How off? I'll go off or you go off?
Okay, I
You go off?
only know
Okay.
the first part.
Okay. এখন জন্য আমি আর গীতাঞ্জলি আন্টি করছি ঠিক আছে ready okay, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready? And row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row. So on and so forth, so on and so forth.
Hey, you're going too slow.
I know. Okay? But does this concept make sense? So now what's going to happen is the following.
Oh, I was just doing. Okay.
You were doing it. Now what's going to happen, we're going to apply this to our saptak, where all of us will sing from sa, but we'll all start 2 notes apart. Sa, re, sa, re, like this. Okay? So let's again split it the same way. 3, 3. You guys start on the normal. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa, sa, ga, ma, ga, re, sa. Repeat the upper sa. Okay? We will start when they hit ga. Okay? Hear your sa's?
What will it?
To me, just normal ga. Sa to sa. ठीक है? Ready? 1,
I'm singing opera.
akar. 1, 2,
Am I going to
Ready?
go up?
yes. Ready? 1, 2, ready, and.
Oh, that. What?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they stopped at ga when you stopped at ga.
Yeah, well, we go all the way down to sa. Okay, let's try that again.
Yes.
Ready? 1,
Am I doing
2,
that?
sa to sa in akar. 1, 2, ready, and.
Ooh, that's so again.
Hmm?
They stopped. They stopped at ga when you stopped at ga.
No, they kept going correctly. ठीक है तो शिलो. Do any of the online people have any questions? Just if you send them into the WhatsApp group, I'll answer them as we go.
Side.
Okay. So far, so good? Are we all on the same page?
Yeah.
Okay. Now. There's 6 of us, right? So now let's split this 3 ways. Let's let Amrish get back. We'll do it this way one more time. Then we're going to split it 3 ways with 3 different saptaks going simultaneously. And you have to hold your pitch. So to hold your pitch, listen to your surroundings and make your intervals lock. Okay? Ha, Janak. Ha, what's up, Janak?
Okay.
No. Which one is waiting?
What's happening?
Someone's asking a question.
You remember Jana doctor?
Yeah.
He's asking a question.
Just listen.
He's typing a question.
Receiving it.
You want to say it?
Is it the long question?
Okay, what we'll do is, Janak, have your question typed. Before we end, I'll go through this list and answer questions as we go. Okay? All right, so just have your question ready, though. Just type it out and I'll take a look at it. So let's do it again, just half and half. Where you 3, sa to sa, we'll join when you guys hit ga. We'll flip it so that you guys start from ga when we're on ga. And then we'll go on to the next phase. Okay? So, ready?
So what am I going to do?
Akar, akar. Sa to sa normally koro. ठीक है? Ready? 1, 2, akar. Ready? And. Everyone go back to sa again. ठीक है?
Yep.
Made sense? Sounds okay to you guys? All right, let's flip it now. You guys start when we hit ga. So 2 beats after us, you guys start.
So what should we guys?
And we will sing from
What should I do?
Sa.
Sa.
Sa to sa, but you start 2 notes after us.
Mhm.
Sa, okay, ready?
What
That's
am I
you
doing?
3.
Am I doing sa?
When are we starting? After
On ga. When we sing ga, you start your sa. Okay, ready? 1,
Am I doing sa to sa?
yes. 1, 2, ready, and.
What just happened? What just happened?
So that ended correctly.
So,
So-
what just happened?
So basically, what will happen is you guys, so Rishi, Boromadi, and Gitanjali,
Are
Will-
going to
Start
sing?
from ga.
you start when we sing ga.
Mhm.
When
So
we
what
sing ga,
should-
you start sa.
Okay.
Mhm.
When Kishan uncle will sing sa re ga, then we'll from ga we will start sa. Okay.
Ready?
Good job.
Ready? 1, 2, ready, and.
Not now.
That makes sense? All right. Now let's split it 3 ways. Let me see if Janak's questions come through. When you are split singing like sa and ga, does the ga person sing considering ga as their sa? No. So, okay. So I see what you're doing, what you're asking there, Janak. But in our case especially, see, in a Western context, you'd be thinking of this in a very different light. But in terms of what we're doing here, because the Tanpura will be playing, our sa will never change. So that doesn't mean you're transposing everything from ga. Sa is still sa, ga is still ga. You're not changing where you consider sa to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get a response from in a second. But anyways, okay. Now let's split 3 ways. There's 6 of us. One of us will start from sa, one from ga, or one of us will start from the normal place, one of us will start from 2 later, and one of us will start from 2 later after that. So sa, ga, and pa will all line up somehow. Okay? So let's do it this way. Rishi, you are going to sing sa to sa from the normally, okay?
Okay.
Urumadi, you'll sing it from when he sings ga. You from pa, you from sa, you from ga, and me from pa. Okay? So that means
You from Sa.
who all is starting together? Rishi and Ambarish will sing together. Gitanjali and?
No, I'm saying with
Oh, you're with me.
Yeah.
And then Poromadi and Saili. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty.
Maru chadattaru.
I'll go. Oh,
We'll go for a bit longer, then we'll stop.
oh, oh,
Yeah. Okay, ready? 1, 2. Sorry, just a quick question. If those of you who are listening can,
bathroom.
if those of you who are listening can chime in and tell me whether or not you can actually hear all the harmonies that are happening, and if you can't, then in the next round I'll set up 2 more mics maybe that'll help with that. But if you can hear everything properly, then great. But just let me know.
Sally, are you okay? Give me a headache.
What? It's giving me.
Harmony is giving you a headache.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the first time, I mean, I had stayed half hour longer, I would have come out like shivering or something. Fortunately, he had
That's
to.
crazy to me. Whoa.
It's the
Yeah.
first time I heard them. It's like, why are you doing that? Yeah. He's singing together.
I'm gonna play one of my favorite pieces for you. Bogor di Serio.
I don't
They
list
give me
of
the-
songs that I want to cover.
Give me the creeps.
My mom is responding to the Durput choir, but not to my technique.
Sweet problem.
Okay, take a listen to this.
Oh, she's listening also.
Yeah, she's awake.
Okay, I thought she just like responded to the group. I didn't know she's.
Oh. What's this? I can't even understand the words.
It's a different language. My high school sang this one. She will play a different one.
Are they singing? Where are they? Who's recording here?
It's a choir.
Is someone recording the video?
No.
What's this song called? What does it mean in English?
I actually can't tell you what it means in English because I don't know. It's called Bogoro Ditse Dievo. Huh. Hold on. Singers who start at G or Pa or at Ga or Pa in the beginning, do they come back to lower sound on their way down or linger at their respective note? So, Akka, that depends on the piece you're singing and how it's been orchestrated. In the case of the exercise right now, for example, in the last one, all of us were singing from Sa to Sa. So we'd only finish once we got back to Sa. To the contrary, if what you're asking, if I'm understanding what you're asking correct, let's say I had X number of the people sitting here singing from Ga to Ga, you only sing from Ga to Ga. And when you come back, you stop at the bottom Ga, exactly where you started, for the purpose of this exercise. Does that make sense?
Yep.
There's a lag, so it shall get back. Okay, so let's do this again, where we split 3 ways. Okay? Now, let's keep it the same and then we'll flip the order. We'll all shift over by 1.
What do I do?
Sa to Sa on the beat, okay? Ready?
I'm gonna sing God Sa.
Yeah, just Sa to Sa.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, ready, and. Got that?
Yep.
All right. So that's our first training in how harmonies work and how to interlock. Okay. It'll take a lot of work. We're off to a good start. We're not completely Besura. So that's a really big step. That's a really good thing. Okay. The next thing about choral singing, which is very important, is the ability to start and finish as a group. So where everyone picks up and makes a sound at exactly the same time, and everyone cuts off at exactly the same time. There should not be even a slight either human lag in it. The beauty of choral music is that it doesn't account for that. Even if one person happens to begin a phrase or end a phrase slightly after, it causes a ripple through the whole thing. Right? So now let's try working on that a bit. Basically, you will have a conductor this day. Hi, that's me. The important thing here is to learn how to read what my hands are doing. To many Indians, they'll look at a conductor and go, "Aise hi haath phila raha hai." Matlab, aise. What's the point? Like, they don't see that he's just throwing his arms around. But there is a logic to the hands throwing around. And I didn't bother explaining this when we last did it. So many of you may have thought that I was just flailing my arms about. But let's go into what conducting actually means, how to read it, what does it look like, etc. And why do we do it? Quick question. So do people who start first have to go to upper tar pa and then down in order to figure? Janak, I think your question depends on what it's dependent on where they're starting from in the context of this exercise. So in the context of this exercise, none of us are starting on pa. We're all starting on sa and we're all ending on sa. It's just we're starting from sa at different points. To the contrary, if I had, let's say, Gitanjali and Ambrish, for example, and I'm starting from sa, Gitanjali starting from ga, and Ambrish starting from pa, and we're all singing and ending together. We're all starting and ending together. Gitanjali and Ambrish, for the purpose of this exercise, will end when they come back to ga. So Gitanjali will sing from ga to ga and come back to ga. Ambrish will sing pa to pa, come back to pa. I will sing sa to sa and come back to sa for the purpose of this exercise. Okay? So, what I say we're going to do now? Conducting.
Conducting.
Now, why conducting?
Because
Why do you think conducting is necessary?
because
It's a communication
we have
that at particular points you have to maybe stress or go slow.
Sure. Definitely.
yeah,
One part.
yeah.
Like you're on, like you need visual cues because your audio cues are kind of instead of listening to the people who are around you.
Those are two very good points. The overcapping sort of point is the understanding that sound waves of different frequencies travel at different times in different ways.
Yeah.
They don't all go together. And what that means is, for example, if Saili was to stand in that corner and Amrish was to stand in this corner, and they try to sing a particular note together, if there's no visual cue, the chances are there's going to be a lag because sound doesn't travel as fast. The speed at which sound travels isn't as fast as to just visually see two people on the other end, take a breath, and go sa. The job of a conductor is to provide that pulse. The entire ensemble is following the visual pulse of one person. That's what keeps everyone together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay, so to my kache bosh too? Do you have another question come in? Which cues help? Yes, they sync all the times up, which is exactly correct. So now, first things first. Let's say I'm gonna show 4 beats. The skeleton of what it looks like when I move my arms is, we always have to think about down beats. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay?
Yep.
So if I was to speed it up, then you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now, with me so far? Conducting is a really interesting thing because there's so much you can communicate simply based off of how someone's hands are moving. And there are so many cues that get picked up as a result of how someone moves their hands. For example, if I was to go, let's say we were singing Sare Gama Pada Nisa. Let's just say we're singing the Saptak. And I was conducting the Saptak going. How do you interpret that in terms of how you're executing it? Flowing. You're going? Sare Gama Pada Nisa. If I was the whole weight of how you will sing that Sare Gama will change, right? Sare Gama Pa, like the weight changes, all that changes. Okay? So the first way to pick up cues on how conducting works is the stylistic cue, which is how are the conductor's arms flowing and what does that tell you? Should you flow with it? Should you be staccato against it? All that stuff comes from the conductor. So let's call this what it is. In my experience as a Western and an Indian musician, Western music is not a Western group music, ensemble work is not the creativity of the individual musician. It's the genius of the director. It's the conductor's take on how the piece ought to sound. So in a Western ensemble, what you're listening to is not how brilliant the ideas of each individual musician are. You're listening to how brilliant the interpretation of that piece on behalf of the conductor is, who's teaching that group. Whereas in our music, it's all about that individual person because we don't have an ensemble singing or ensemble music concept where we come from. That makes sense? Okay, so let's think of it this way. I'm going to count you off. And I want you to say 1, 2, 3, 4 against how I'm conducting. Based off of how I'm conducting, adjust how you say those 4 numbers. Simple enough? Okay.
Yep. 1.
Kai prashna hai teri mala sang, since I'm not.
1,
Ready?
2, 3,
All right. 2, ready, and
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9,
Just fours.
10, 11,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now, how was she saying it? Paradwan?
1, 2, 3,
How are you saying it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
How are you saying it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Three different interpretations based off of one action. Which one do you think is correct? So there's a slight amount of subjectivity here. I'm not going to lie about that. But let me put, since I'm your conductor, let's communicate what I'm thinking versus what you're saying. If I was to conduct what you were saying, I would go, because the way my hand is moving, it's also denoting how much to hold that note. 1, 2, 3, 4. My hand is going exactly that length,
Sing
right?
it correctly.
But if I'm going 1, what's different there?
Emphasis point. The speed at which we're doing it.
The speed at which I was doing it also changed. But what's the difference between
And it's like the abruptness in which you end.
the abruptness in which I end? But there's another point I'm trying to make here.
No.
The flow. But let's put it this way. Which two numbers am I accenting certain numbers against others in this one?
1, 3.
1 and 3, right? I'm going. Where 2 is 1. So now if I'm going to consider it like that again, say it how you would read it, okay? 1, 2, ready, and
1, 2,
3,
4,
1,
6,
3,
7, 8,
1,
10,
3,
12,
1,
13,
3,
4,
1.
good.
8.
Okay? Cool. Now, that's how counting is read. Let's take a slight, let's elaborate this on a little bit more. Elaborate on this a little bit more. Tell me what number of groupings am I keeping in this next one? I kept 4 just now. So tell me what this next one is. I'm going to shut this off if it's not needed anymore. Okay, so what am I conducting here? Ready? So 3s, right? Okay. What if I went? One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1.
6.
Right?
Yeah.
One, two, three, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. One, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1.
Okay. Pretty straightforward, right? Now let's think in terms of Adhanad. If you were to conduct Adhanad, how do you think would be the best way to do it? Basically, the way it works in Western music is depending on what the time signature is. In Western music, there's no flat tal concept. Every measure can have a different number of beats in it. Every vibhag can be completely random and sporadic. There's no hard and fast rule behind it. But in our case, we have that. Does it make sense for me as a conductor to just conduct Chautan? Or does it make sense for the conductor to conduct according to the rhythm of the piece? What do you think would best work? The latter. Right? So, now study the composition. Ada, Nada, Brahma, Nada. How am I conducting here? Threes, right?
Yeah.
So, Ada, Nada, Brahma, Nada. The next word will be, the next line will be twos. Well, how else can I think of it? Up to what point?
It's gonna be 3 2s and 2 3s.
3 2s and 2 3s. So, okay, it's subjective. The only reason I'm telling you this because I'm going to be conducting it this way. So as long as you recognize that I'm conducting it in the way the words are set up,
Shouldn't it be 4 5 3?
it could be 4 5 3, yeah, or 4 4 2 3 3, 4 3. It depends on the word. So anahata omkara. So then omkara will be a 2 3 setup. Anahata omkara pranava. So 4 2 3 3. I'm doing the 5 is the 2 and a 3. Omkara. Right? Jako jogi dhyana dharata 3 3 3 3. Pavata sata chidananda will be
1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Pavata is one word, right? So also think of it that way. Pavata is one word. So I'm not going to split conducting it into 2 2s.
4
4 Pavata
2 4 2 3 3.
4 2 3 3. Right? So that's how the piece will be fully conducted. Do I have any? We're good over here. Cool. Okay. Everyone with me so far? Is that? ठीक है? Yeah, we'll just go for 10 more minutes. That's all I wanted to cover today, anyways. But does that make sense? Okay. So conducting we covered today, styles of conducting we covered today. The other thing which you should know about conducting is dynamics, how loud or soft thing is also conveyed. But we'll work on that as we learn the piece and as we go along in that. It should be fairly intuitive at this point. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to drive home this interval thing. Okay? So we're going to do a quick interval test. Okay? Sa is playing. Shuddhaga. আমি বলছি তোমাকে, huh? But don't sing sa, just ga. Okay? Okay, Rishi, can you sing dha for me, please?
Da.
Okay. Eva Kintu, can you, I don't want to hear you go, da. Just direct dhaga.
Da.
Okay, Amrish, can you sing pa? Sa to pa. Major fifth kasar. There we go. Sa to pa is a major fifth. So even if you don't know what in Indian note names, you found a conversion. Pa manje 5s, dha manje 6, ni manje 7. Slightly, can you sing re? Okay, now. Can you sing a minor third from where I am? A minor third just in akar. Correct. Good. তোমার পিছে একটু মাইক আছে, হ্যাঁ? আসতে বল। Sing a major third from here. That's a minor third. But it's a minor third. But for now, completely. Hold on. Here, let's do the following. Major third. See, like. Okay. Until I tell you, don't sing something, okay? Okay, Rishi, I'm going to sing a note. I want you to sing me a minor third from that note.
Okay.
Okay? সেটা মাইনার থার্ড হলো
Hello.
সেটা মাইনার থার্ড হলো Someone help him out? Okay, now Amrish. Sing a major fourth. তুমি গাওনি, তোমার নাম অমরেশ। Major fourth. Rishi.
তোমাকে বলেনি কিন্তু কিছু না।
No, but I don't know what is called a major and minor because I missed it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Can you sing Ma from here? Good. So that's what I mean. Even if you missed me talking about major or minor fourth, basically the number is correlated to a note. Sa is 1, Re is 2, Ga is 3, Ma is 4, Pa is 5, Dha is 6, Ni is 7. Okay. Major, minor, manje komal kiva tivra. I mean, komal kiva shuddha.
Okay.
Okay. So then if I'm saying a major fourth, that means I'm saying shuddha ma. And the rule of thumb is, we in this context will never use the term minor fourth.
Minor fourth.
That will never exist. What we will use is an augmented fourth. Augmented means raised, right? So tivra means augmented. Komal means minor. Major means shuddha. For the purposes of our discussions. Okay? Tali? Pamar. There we go. Okay, Rishi?
Yep.
Can you please sing minor sixth from the next note that I sing?
Okay.
Okay? সেটা মেজর ফিফথ হলো, সেটা মেজর সিক্সথ হলো, তাহলে মাইনর কি হবে? There we go. Very good. Okay, now here's a cheat to memorize your intervals from Sa. A cheat to memorize your interval from Sa is find a song that's commonly known that you know that starts with that interval. So, for example, the first one that comes to mind is if I was to sing from Sa to Ma, and if I ever had to find it. That's fine. We're done. We're done. Hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram, hey Ram. Commonly known song, bhajan. Sama, hey Ram, Sama. Okay? And then what song can you think of that goes from Sa to Shuddhaga?
Krishna, are we done?
Baja. But see, find your Sa. So Baja is Saga. Saga. I'm saying find Saga for now. Sa to Ga. What is Sajwani? Sajwani, do you have one in mind? Okay. So Saga. Bajado, bajado, velo, Vaishnava Janato. Perfect. That's a very good one.
Bye.
Bye, Rishi.
Bye, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Vaishnava Janato for Saga, correct. And minor third is Komalka, correct. Now for the Gujaratis listening, Muto gai. For Sa to Dha, Shuddha Dha. Muto gai ti mere, Muto gai ti sadha. Right? For Sa Komal Dha, Hey Malik tere bande haan, Hey Malik tere bande haan, Sadha pa ga ma pa. Yeah, it's gonna. Okay, so Sa Ga done, Sa Ma done. How about Sa Pa? Can anyone think of anything from Sa to Pa, here or abroad? No? Sa to Komal Ga. Just think of any combination at this point. Sa to Komal Ga. Sa to Re. Sa to Re is easy. Sa Re ke Sa Re Ga Ma Re. Sa Re. Sa Re ke Sa Re. Right? Sa Re ke Sa Re Ga Ma. That has Sa Re Ga Ma all there. Sa Re ke Sa Re Ga Ma Ko. That's a part right there. What's that really weird Hindi song? Komalga? 1, 2, 3 Shuddhaga, 1, 10, 11 Komalga. Saga, Saga, Sama, Sa. Sapa, we haven't found anything yet. Sadha, Sadha, E Malik tere bande hum. Sadha, hu to gayi thi. And then, hold on. Toredu has some really interesting intervals in it.
There's some portion in that song that goes on.
Toredu jeevi sabahude harinna charanagara varide maate kinnu haritu bedu periya Tai tandeya betu tabava madalu Dayadi bandu kada vidalu bahudu Rayada munidare rajavane vidabahudu Kaisa bitanilla vadiya vidanakadu Odalu hasiyalu alla Huh? But that's not from Sa. I'm looking specifically from Sa. But in your case, Odalu hasiyalu, that starts from Pa. Odalu. Sapa odalu hasiyalu valla villa tadiravudu. Right? But we can go on and on like this. The point being, find what works for you. To learn your intervals, find what works for you. That will sound like. So if someone plays a tanpura saying sing ga, are saga. Someone turns on the tanpura to some random note and says sing sama, sama. It just comes as second nature. Okay? Make sense? Do any abroad individuals have any questions? Now we wait 10 seconds. Okay, here, how about this? From pa to ni. What are some songs that have pa to ni? Let me turn the pitch down. Where's pa? Where's pa? That works for you? Remember that. How about you? Even Sakadalokama Sahunevalde Sakadalokama. Think through the vandishas you've learned in the last 2 lessons. This is one of the most prominent sangatis of the rag you're learning. Right there. Gama pani sani pa gama ga sa. That's full of intervals. Ga tu sa, ga tu pa, pa tu ni, pa tu sa. So here's a really cool exercise just for kicks. Sa ga pa. We're just gonna go consecutive thirds, major minor thirds. Sa ga pa ni pa ga sa. Re ma dha sa dha ma re. Try that one again. Try that one again and line up your notes. Make sure this is in tune. We're shifting from the prominent, obvious hook points. So now, find that out. There we go. Ga pa. Why ga pa ni re? Huh? Thirds, right? From the note before, it's a third. Ga pa ni re ni pa ga. Then huh? Sa ga pa ni pa ga sa. Re ma dha sa dha ma re. Ga pa ni re ni pa ga sa ga sa dha ma pa ni re ma re ni pa da sa ga pa ga sa dha ni re ma ga ma re ni sa ga pa ni pa ga sa. Sa re ga ma sa ga re ma sa ma re ga ma pa re ma ga pa re pa. All in triple work. Sa re ga ma pa sa ga re ma ga pa sa ma re pa sa pa re ga ma pa da re ma ga pa. Exactly. They're all intervals. Sa re ga ma pa, single intervals. Sa ga re ma ga pa. What kind of interval? Thirds. Sa ma re pa. Sa pa. Sa re ga ma pa, sa ga re ma ga pa sa pa re ga ma pa da re ma ga pa ma da re pa re dha. I have done this. Ga ma pa da ni ga pa ma da pa ni pa ga ni ma pa da ni sa ma da pa ni sa ni da pa ma sa da ni pa sa pa ni ma. So on so forth. Sa re ga ma pa sa pa ma re sa re ga ma pa da re da pa ma ga re. How does this tie into how your relationship with the Tanpura? You should hear that interval against the Tanpura. Some intervals will be made from sa, some will be made from pa, but you have to understand. Now, tell me something. Since we have still some time, let's just talk about relationships within the saptak. Understanding intervals within the saptak. True or false? The difference from sa to ga is the same as pa to ni. True, right? So then, if your ni isn't coming in tune, see, ga will come in tune because it'll form a perfect major triad. You'll hear the ga spot on in tune. Ni is a tough note to get in tune. So then what note should you be listening to get ni in tune? Is ga playing in the Tanpura? Pa. Because pa to ni is a major third. The same way sa to ga is. Right? How about re? What do you listen to get re in tune? Sa or pa? And justify your answer.
I would say sa. It's right next to it.
Okay.
And that's a major second.
It's a major second. Does that provide a harmonic? An even harmonic that's easy to latch onto?
No, I would.
Exactly. So, what's option number 2? What interval does pa give? Pa to re is what interval?
4.
Pa re re pa pa re. What interval is from pa to re and re to pa are not the same interval. It's inverted. Pa re is a what? गिनके देखो.
It is a 4.
Pa to sa is a 4.
Oh, 5. Sorry.
It's a
because
fifth.
they include.
Re to pa is a what?
Re to pa is a 4, but pa to re is a 5.
Is a 5. It's a perfect fifth interval. So then that makes it the easiest one to lock into. So now it's up to you to sing re until you hear that interval against that pa. Try it. So keep going until you do. You do listen to it against the pas that play. This is a practice thing now, is to be able to hear those intervals which are not against sa. Make sense? That's how you improve your intonation with the use of intervals against the Tanpura. Is to memorize how that interval feels against either sa or pa or both. Make sense? Ma will be against pa or sa. Will you measure ma against pa or sa? It's subjective. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. Paravichama? Sa. Sa? Sure, nahi. This is all about finding what works for you. So where do you think the interval will be easier to hear? Against pa or against sa?
Against sa.
Why?
I mean, intuitively, I would think to hear it from pa because it's right next to me and I know where pa is.
Okay, but does that lock an interval in? Does that lock a harmonic in? Basically what I'm trying to ingrain is the fact that hearing harmonies is the fastest and easiest way to get into tune and understand the position of a given note. Vis-a-vis a prominent harmony, a third, a fourth, or a fifth, to be exact. A major second doesn't provide that harmony that you lock into. So under that logic, would you still use pa?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
So what would you use?
Sa.
And it's a what kind of interval from sa? Sa to ma. So if you memorizing what a fourth feels like is a lot easier than memorizing and locking into a major second. Right? Because think about it this way. Here. Is that an easy interval to lock into? Does that sound like something you can lock into? This. So then that justifies it, right? If you're singing something from pa, it's easiest to find that easiest harmony. And if you understand how harmonies work vis-a-vis each other within the saptak, then that just makes your load a lot lighter and easier. Now let's think of it this way. The rag we're singing doesn't have a pa and it doesn't have a ma. We're now tuning to ni. Which note will you lock with ni and which note will you lock with sa?
What do you mean by which note?
Let's say you have sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa all shuddh. Which notes will you rely on sa to lock? Basically the whole underlying notion being you're going to be in this constant phase of thinking about a harmony against something, singing a note against something. So ga is one of those things which can be either, right? Ga can be either sa or ni. Okay? Let's say you were singing ma. Would you lock against sa or against ni? In this case, sa. Pa. Dha, I would also go against sa. But now, I mean, this is something that depending on the rag you're singing and whether the notes are komal or shuddha or tivra for that matter, that relationship will change. But what am I trying to get? Listen for harmonies. In your everyday rag singing even, when you're singing a given note in a given rag, listen for that harmony to lock the intonation of that note in. That's how you use a tanpura. Is to hear those intervals and lock them in. Not just rely on just sa to sing sa in tune and just pa to sing pa in tune. All the notes are related within these notes that are played. Make sense? Cool. Shuporno Bhattacharya. For me, keeping intervals in type becomes difficult if sama is being played on the tanpura, which is exactly the point, right? That if sama is being played on the tanpura, that means you have to calibrate the other notes of that rag against one of those two. For example, if you're singing Bhageshri and the tanpura is from sa to ma, and you have to sing Shuddha, my instinct is to say lock that Shuddha against ma, because ma to dha is a major third, and that's an easy interval to lock in. Sa to dha is not an easy interval to lock in, whereas ma to dha is. So that it's just up to you have to go into that and figure out what intervals lock easiest for you. But let go of the notion that sa is just for sa, ma is just for ma, pa is just for pa. No, those are all anchors with which you can create intervallic relationships. Hear those intervals. By extension, make your singing more in tune so that you know where ga is, you know where ma is, you know where pa is, you know where ni and dha are. It just becomes easier. There's like a 10-second delay. But unless there are any other questions here, we can call it a day. Then I'll answer these as they come.
We're meeting on every week or
Let's keep it every other week for now. Give me a little bit more time to get the piece into order. We'll start chipping away at the piece starting the next class itself. I'll have it done by then. But yeah, we'll resume every week closer to that program date. Okay. Cool. For those of you who were joining remotely, what's the viewer? How many viewers? 6. To all 6 of you who have been joining remotely, thank you so much. And we will see you all the Tuesday after this coming one. So not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. 27th. We'll see you all on the 27th.